Hello internet world. In this video I've got a smartphone to show you that is definitely too cheap, and in fact I've got something rather controversial to tell you towards the latter part of this video. This is the Huawei P Smart 2019 smartphone. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm really very impressed with this, and I can't wait to show you up a little bit closer underneath the overhead camera here. So what's this all about? Well, it's a smartphone for 2019 that comes in at under £200, and the features for this price are absolutely fantastic. And the price point is no tie-ins, no contract or anything, but you can of course pick this up with really good contract if you want to from Vodafone. They've made this video possible, so please do check out the link to their website down in the video description. You can pick it up from them and get it free on contract, or of course you can pick it up SIM free, unlocked from other suppliers as well. So let's take a look at this. I'm really very impressed. Let's just switch cameras. Here you can see the box. Let's pop the smartphone under there as well. Now I'm not going to go through all of the specifications, but I will go through some of the main specifications for you during this video. In fact, let's just pop the box right over to that side, and we'll reduce the brightness on the screen a bit. The screen does go very bright, by the way, so let's pop it all the way up just so you can see how bright this goes. This is a fantastic screen. Look at that. So bright, easily viewable under direct sunlight as well. The actual display is a 6.21 inch display with a resolution of 1080 by 2340. It's got a camera on the front with this little sort of dewdrop design, so a tiny little notch at the top of the screen there, which is a really nice way of doing it. I do like that way of doing it rather than having these larger notches as on some cameras. We've got 13 megapixel main camera round on the back. You can see it's a dual camera setup with a flash. We've also got a fingerprint sensor, and we've got a nice glossy back, which is a fingerprint magnet, as you can see. But when you give that a wipe, it really does look stunning. Let's just wipe this off for you. And well, a lot of the fingerprints are still there, but it is a very nice back, and it sort of changes colours as it catches the light. Now inside we've got a Kirin 710 processor, which has got a nice turn of speed, very sort of snappy. You do see some frame drops when you're doing a lot on the phone. If you've got a lot of applications open, for example, you may well see a lot of frame drops. Let's just pop into settings here and go into display. We're going to turn off auto adjust on there. You can see how the settings are actually laid out. This has got Android version 9 with the EMUI overlay on top, so right bang up to date with the latest version of Android. And I think it just looks extremely nice. I think it's a very nice looking phone, and really nice build quality as well. Everything, the fit and finish is really good, and it sort of gives you the impression that this is a flagship smartphone, but it's the inside, you know, that you're getting a slightly slower processor, albeit still very fast. 3 GB of RAM, which is more than acceptable, but in flagship phones you do obviously get up to sort of 8 or sometimes 10 GB of RAM nowadays. And we've also got a 3400 mAh battery, which I think is more than acceptable for a phone of this sort, and during my tests over the past few days easily gets you through a full day between charges. Now that processor is a high silicon Kirin 710. It's an octa-core processor. 4 of the cores running at 2.2 GHz, the other 4 running at 1.7 GHz. As well as the 3 GB of RAM, you can get either a 32 GB storage variant of this or a 64 GB, and that's complemented by being able to actually expand that with a micro SD card. With regard to video, 1080p HDR video at 30 frames per second, and the photos are stunning, absolutely stunning. Let's just pop into this and take a look at some of the photos I've taken. They are just so good. And what I've really enjoyed with this, portrait mode on this that actually works without it needing to be a person. So just sort of little toys and little figurines and things like that, you can get some really nice depth of field effects. Just look at this. This is a really nicely detailed shot of one of my Funko figures. Absolutely superb. Love it. Another one here. Okay. Very good photo there as well. And then this one here really demonstrates the nice depth of field. So we've got the minion at the front here, nicely in focus, and then the focus gradually goes out as we go from right to left on the photo. Really good colour rendition as well, the tonality of the photos. The actual performance of the camera is not too bad on this one either. Sometimes when you get slightly cheaper smartphones with slower processors, you find they focus a bit slower as well. This one's somewhere in the middle. The focus speed is pretty good on the camera. I've been very, very pleased with it. I should also mention that the selfie camera on the front is actually 13 megapixels. I think they've got the specifications mixed up on this. I think it's 13 megapixels on the front, and then the dual cameras on the back I believe are 16 megapixels and 8 megapixels. Maybe it's the other way round, but I think that's more accurate. There's also FM radio, micro USB on the bottom, so no USB-C, which again is acceptable at this price point. Little speaker. We've also got the 3.5mm audio jack on here as well. Let's demonstrate this fingerprint sensor on the back. Perfectly placed, of course. Tap. We do that once more, slightly off axis. You can see me tapping it. Very, very responsive. I have had 100%, yes, 100% accuracy with that fingerprint sensor so far. Very, very impressed. And as I mentioned, it's got a really good battery in here, 3,400 milliamp hour battery. So I don't think you'll have any issues with that at all. These are the applications that come pre-installed. So there's not too many, it's not too much bloatware, just the sort of accessories and other things that you'd need to get up and running. Of course, Google Play Store is installed on here as well, so you can install all the apps that you want. And it's running the very latest version, Google Android version 9, with the EMUI overlay. Out of the box, you don't have this app tray. You have all of the apps on the secondary screens, but you can, of course, actually install the app tray if you so wish. Notification shade, oops, sorry, wrong one. Notification shade on the top there, as expected, and everything, just everything you would expect from a really high-end Android smartphone without the price. And I think that's where I want to move on to this rather controversial point. Now, what I want to talk to you about is quite difficult, because I do think this is great value for money, but I think that manufacturers have got a problem this year. And I think they've got a problem because, look at this as a case in point. If Huawei can deliver this sort of quality with these sort of specs and this sort of performance for under £200, and of course available free on some really cost-effective contracts from Vodafone, then why would one spend so much more, and I mean a lot more, on a flagship smartphone? Why on earth would you spend 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 times with the very top-end iPhones, so up to 6 times as much on a smartphone when you can get this quality with absolutely stunning build quality, amazing screen, really clear, nice high resolution, loads of features, good performing camera as well, exceptional performing camera? Why would you spend more money when you can get something like this? It makes financial sense to get one of these instead of buying a so-called flagship smartphone. Now, I do think that manufacturers have got a problem this year, because if Huawei can do something like this that could potentially cannibalize sales on their higher end smartphones, then they obviously are holding back features, because I believe they could have made this even better and still kept the price point the same. And I believe a lot of manufacturers can do that. And it sort of makes sense, or it's common sense, that of course manufacturers have to hold back on what they deliver on their lower end smartphones, because otherwise it will affect sales of their other models. But I do wish that one manufacturer, it only takes just one, to really up the game, like we had a few years ago with the OnePlus range, where they delivered such amazing quality for such a brilliant price, and then they started creeping their prices up. Every single manufacturer has done the same and started creeping their prices up to these sort of near £1,000 prices. I think it's absolutely crazy. This is more than enough, and I do believe that Huawei could have made this even better and kept the price the same. But as it stands, the Huawei P Smart 2019 model is absolutely fantastic. I can really recommend it. It has really opened my eyes, and I do think that with some of these flagship smartphones, the prices are ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But this one I can highly recommend. Fantastic. Anyway, let's have a look inside the live chat. This is a live broadcast, of course. A big hello to Aaron Stoy. Thanks for tuning in again. Also, Barry's Voice, Galvanised Vlogs, Warwick Sylvester, Paranoid Android. I love your username. I really do. Thanks for tuning in. We've got here Lloyd86. David, you take a look at the Nokia 7.1. Much better phone, pure Android, no bloatware, and it feels more premium than this for about £30 more. Thanks for the tip. Also, Paranoid Android Golfer suggesting the Nokia 6.5, and also mentioning that the iPhone actually cost $200 to make. Wow, that is a very cheap manufacturer price. And Andrew Walker also mentioning OnePlus is going to have to do something very special this year with these sorts of phones coming out. My worry with a lot of manufacturers is they had it really good a few years back, and now people are, well, for two reasons. People are cluing up to the fact they don't have to spend flagship prices to get a really good experience, and two, people are hanging on to their smartphones a lot longer. So I agree with you, OnePlus and all manufacturers really need to step up their game. What I hope they don't do is actually step up their game and step up their price, because I think people are becoming wise to this, and this is a very, very good example. This is the Huawei P Smart 2019 model, and it is absolutely fantastic. Really very good. I forgot to mention actually that camera has of course got AI built in, so it learns some scene mode, so it knows what you're actually taking photos of, and actually uses AI to enhance the photo as well. And I've been so happy with this. One of the priority features for me, in fact 2 or 3 I have now, but the main one is camera performance, good screen and good battery life. Really important, and the camera on this is amazing. Very, very good indeed. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. I really do appreciate it. Check out the links down in the video description to where you can pick this up for yourself. A big thank you to Vodafone for making this video possible. You can pick up the P Smart 2019 from Vodafone on a fantastic deal, so please do check out that link to their website down in the video description area. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Share a link to the video if you're a regular viewer. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you in another video very soon.